America has a new hero, and she kicks butt. Join American Bliss in her exciting first issue, as she finds her way as the new champion of freedom.
Woohoo! Yes! Yes, guys, it's Sunday. This means another episode of A Drink with Brink, where I talk with other indie creators about their lives and their books and the campaigns, because corporate comics lost me. I'm kind of done with the mainstream, and indie comics is where the fun is, guys. So yeah, welcome everyone. I try to start every episode with a little update. I don't really have a little update besides that. American Bliss on Kickstarter is now 80% funded. Yes, 80% funded. Thank you all so much for sharing and for supporting. This is awesome. This is the second chance campaign, guys. We went from Indiegogo to Kickstarter, and I decided, why not showcase more Kickstarter campaigns? So the campaign for today, the campaign that we are going to showcase is a Kickstarter campaign. We will dive into that in a few minutes, but first I want to show you guys something else also, because sometimes guys, I'm so lucky I get fan art. I get fan art from people. So some fantastic artist named Mr. Bisley made something, and I want to show it. I want to share it with you people. So he made this art of Perfect 10. Check it out, guys. Look at this. I get this. This is someone made this for me. This is fantastic. I'm so happy. I'm so grateful that people actually take the time and effort to do this. And the fun thing is about this piece is that the creator made some some changes to the costume. So he had his own creative like thingies here, and it's really nice, man. I really like it. I dig this. The colors are perfect. The hairstyle. I like the hair, man. Fantastic. Well done. Mr. Bisley, if you're watching, thank you so much for this wonderful art, sir. Thank you. Stop sharing. All right, stop sharing, guys, because let's see who's in the chat with us today. I already saw Chris Fisk. Welcome, Chris Fisk. How is your Sunday? And Ryu is here. Hello, Ryu. Nice to see you, man. Mike's here, of course. Of course, Mike is here. Good day. I've noticed you've been showing off linking to more Kickstarters. Understandable. Congratulations on 80% funding in 2 weeks on Kickstarter. Woo-hoo-hoo. Thank you so much. Yes. Sweetheart. Yes, it is. It is, man. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, guys. It's time for the guest. So he's new to the show. I don't really know the guest either, but that's why I do this show, so I can get to know more people and I get to introduce you to new people and showcase their wonderful books. So let's just bring him on, the good person. Let's see if I got this right. I got it right. Welcome to the show, Mr. Jason Pharo.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me on. What's up, David?
You're welcome, man. I'm good. How are you?
Very good, very good, very
yes.
good. Hey to everybody in the chat. What's that?
What time you have it right now?
Because right now it is 3 o'clock or 1500. I guess
3 o'clock, right? Yes.
3 o'clock p.m. Yep.
Yes, you changed like you.
Yeah, we had daylight savings. I think that's
exactly.
something that we do here in the States.
But no,
I think it's the last time. Oh, do you guys? I think we're trying to not do it anymore. I think that's up for Senate. So what's up, Ryu?
Yeah, the same here. We do it also, but we do it at a different time. So there is one moment in time where I get confused.
I think they want to do it, and then I think this last time is the last time, but who knows? Everything's up to. Oh, what's up, Jerry? My buddy Jerry's in here. Old school comic.
Jerry, wait, where's Jerry?
Jerry Cooley.
Old school comics.
He's good dude.
Welcome, Jerry. Nice to meet you. And Dr. Rhino. Hey, it's not a show without Dr. Rhino.
Right on.
And Phantasmagoracle. Welcome. Welcome. Great. A lot of cool people watching right now because they want to know you, Jason. But before
I want to know them too.
Yes, exactly. But before we talk about you, I have to ask the question: what are you drinking?
What am I drinking right now? I am drinking a weak ass beer from the States. That's all I had in the fridge, so it's a light beer. But whatever. That's what I got. So, what about you? What do you got?
I have the same. I always have my cola.
I thought about. I was gonna mix some Jameson with some iced tea. I do have that. I was considering that, but I want to be a little more productive a little bit later when I get off of here. I still got a comic to work on.
Right. Because you work on comics, so you still produce comics right now. You have one live.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the comic you're working on right now?
That is the one I'm working on right now. Yeah.
All right. So what do you still need to do for the book?
Well, right now we're in the process of line arting. I have we usually, because I have other guys that work with me, and at least it's a drink, right on. I have other guys that work with me on my team. So sometimes funding is necessary to get the project started. But on my end, I'm the artist, so it doesn't cost me anything to start doing the line art. I don't do the colors. So it took me. I was a little bit behind the curve on starting this one because I'm a traditional artist at heart. My last 2 books were traditional, but I wanted to get into the digital medium to speed things up a little bit more and a little ease of
yes.
Because it's one of those things where as a traditional artist, you pencil it, you ink it. I was also the inker. I would ink
Mhm,
it, and then you erase away the excess
mhm.
pencils, and then
Right.
normally you'd have to go back and re-ink it again. So each page usually gets a good inking twice, at least at my
Wow.
experience. So it was a little tedious. So I wanted to move into digital. I dabbled a little bit. So I gave myself a good couple months to feel confident on doing digital art. So that way I wanted to make sure that my art looked like my art, basically.
Exactly.
So,
Yes.
so and,
Yes.
and I need to learn, right? I need to learn the process, and I did.
Yes.
I'm very confident now. So yeah, I jumped in. A couple pages in right now. We did a lot of. We had to redo the outline of the story a little bit. We had there's a couple script drafts, like there always is in comics, right? Uh,
Right.
yeah, we're good. We're kicking along, and we're not fulfilling until August, so we're way ahead of track on that. So
Oh, perfect. Fantastic.
yeah,
Welcome, Darkside is Comics. Um, Guys, Darkside is Comics has his own YouTube channel with daily comic book reviews. So subscribe to his channel. Um, Great. So you said you made 2 books before this one?
I do. Yep, I did. Yeah, I have
Okay,
my
so
the Convictor series. Yeah.
a series.
Yes. The Convictor is a, series that I have about 13 books planned for it. So I have
13?
my yeah, it's an overall
Wow.
story arc. My story arc has a very definitive end. This is a character I created. Next year will mark 40 years, when I originally created him in
Oh,
1984 as a kid. And, so it has a very definitive story arc, and it has very definitive end. So, yeah, this is the 3rd book in that line. So we're getting there.
right. Lucky number 13. Yeah.
My favorite number. So, it's a good
Yeah.
number for me.
Okay, so you started making comics a few years back, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
it was a long journey for me, yeah.
right. So what made you get into comic books?
Well, as a kid, I was very much I was born in the '70s, so I'm 50 years old right now. So I was, Super Friends, Batman TV show, animated '60s Spider-Man show, all that stuff, cut my teeth and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And then, I was also very creative. I drew a lot as a child. And then superheroes weren't really on my drawing radar at the time, but my mother had given me a really awesome Spider-Man versus Green Goblin coloring book in the
Oh, cool.
70s. And it just struck me how cool it looked. So I started tracing it in, like 1980 or so. I was tracing. It's how I learned early anatomy a little bit, from tracing these, and I would put different heads on them, just trying to and, so I kinda got
Which
into drawing
which
superheroes
comics
then.
did you trace? Which comics did you prefer?
I was tracing this, Amazing Spider-Man coloring book at first, and
Oh,
that's what it
sure.
was.
Yeah.
It was a coloring book, yeah, and it was really awesome,
Right.
and then, yeah, then I started collecting comics. I got into, like I was a very big Marvel person originally.
Mhm.
I didn't really give DC a really good solid look, until, I came across at the comic book shop when I was in my about 11 or 12 years old, The Dark Knight Returns,
Oh, yeah.
and I didn't realize, because the only real experience I had from Batman was Super Friends TV show and the
Yeah.
1960s Adam West Batman. Once I saw that, I was like, "Oh, this is Batman." Like, this is, like, literally what Batman is, and, so that kinda steered me into, like, DC properties too. And so I guess it was, middle school for us, which is, like 7th and 8th grade. I started to draw my own characters, and I kind of created what is now the Convictor. Then 1984, he was originally like a Punisher type of character, like a vigilante.
Right.
That was all the rage then, right? Because I was also reading a lot of Punisher, and I was reading a lot of Daredevil comics. I really enjoyed Daredevil at the time.
Okay, cool.
Uh, so I kinda created this vigilante, and then I kind of changed him because I didn't want, the vigilante archetype. I wanted something different for him. So he became what I call a ninja vigilante. He became a vigilante who's also a ninja warrior, because ninjas were huge in the '80s. They were everywhere,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, of
That was
course.
the craze. So, of
Yeah, the
course, he was a
super
ninja.
the stupid
And then I
turtle.
came, yeah, well, I came across the
Yeah.
Mirage Comics at the same
Yeah.
comic book shop I saw The Dark Knight Return.
Mhm.
I saw the original Eastman and Laird TMNT run, and it was black and white, Mirage Comics, and it blew. I didn't realize there was other comics out there besides DC and Marvel, because independent comics, I was like
Yeah.
11, 12 years old, 13. It didn't really register to me. I saw
No,
it
it
and it
was
blew my
really,
mind.
it was really underground. You know, the indie
Yes,
scene.
totally underground.
Yeah.
And I mean, the reason my character has tassels on his head is because of the Ninja Turtle. I thought that was
Okay.
the coolest thing I've ever seen,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Wow!" I put tassels on his mask just because. Yeah, so he kind of grew from there. Like, also another influence for the character was like Snake Eyes from GI Joe. I
All right.
came across the GI Joe cartoon, and I realized that because my character, the Convictor, has a he's right. Ninjas are a rite of passage. That's right. The Convictor had a backstory of being a former soldier, but so does the Punisher, and so does a lot of vigilantes. So I wanted something different. So I seeing Snake Eyes on the GI Joe cartoon and the toy line, I realized he could be a soldier and a ninja type character. So that kind of steered me heading into that too. And I took all of the 90s. I drew ash cans for my friends.
Mhm.
I even had a comic strip on the wall of my art class in high school. I did all that, and I just really the character that you see today was really formulated in the 90s. Even though I created him in the 80s, he's very much a 90s-esque type of character, obviously.
Right.
And
Yes,
so
you were ahead of your time, basically, with the character, right? Because he has
yeah,
this 90s
I
thing going
yeah, I
on.
guess
Yeah.
I had a lot of influences. Like, I had different influences for different reasons. Like, I those are the early influences. Then the 90s, I came across, you had Spawn that came out. So I came across McFarlane's work in Marvel, and not because I wanted the character to look like Spawn or anything like that. Just McFarlane's attention to detail work.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
I started putting specks and pock marks and scratches on my artwork because that's what McFarlane did. So he very much steered me that way. And then I came across a really awesome series. If anybody's ever heard of it, it's called Mr. Monster by Michael Gilbert. Mr.
It's the
Monster series. It was
monster.
a golden
Awesome.
age hero that he got the rights to, and he started doing Mr. Monster comic. Mr. Monster was a vigilante type of character, but he sought out monsters. He fought like vampires and werewolves and zombies, and so that kind of pitched my character more into this supernatural type of
Right. Yes.
stuff. So,
Yes.
and that's where, that and Faust
You
comics, if
took
anybody's
you
seen a
took
Faust.
inspiration from everything you
I
thought
did,
was cool,
I really did. The
combine it.
character that I c yeah,
Yes.
the character that I have now was inspired by several sources, for sure.
Yes. Yes, it's great. Good
Thank you.
stuff.
So,
Um,
to answer your question about the comics really quick,
sure.
I drew them. I graduated high school, I stopped drawing for about 20 years because I got a career, I had a family, and so only a few years ago, I decided I owed it to 12-year-old me to make my character a real comic because I always wanted to do that as a kid, so it was kind of a passion thing for me, so only a few years ago, I started doing this again. So, that was the answer to your question, sorry.
Right, right. So you actually now you started with issue one, the actual book, so the actual character you
Yeah,
created so many years
yeah,
back. Now you
right.
finally get to make him. You started a few years ago,
Yeah,
right? So and this is issue three. You have 13 issues planned.
that's the plan, yeah.
So how did you find your creative team? Because you're not doing this alone,
Right.
right? Yeah.
Originally, I was gonna just make the one book. It was part of a bucket list type of thing. I was just gonna make it one, and that was it. And so I had a kid that where I say I call him kid, but he's actually the same age as me, a year younger than me. His name is Dennis Valencia, and Dennis drew fan art for me. You can kind of see it. It's right here on my wall of my character. I loved it so much. It's right here.
Awesome.
Uh, I loved this so much. I liked his interpretation of my character because I saw you said before about fan art, and I love getting fan art because I love
Yeah.
people's interpretation of my character. I love how people see it differently. I think it's amazing. And so he sent me this, and I really liked it. And so we got to know, and then I decided that I was going to go to Kickstarter for this book,
Mhm.
and so I asked him if he wanted to do the covers, and he was thrilled to do the covers. I enjoyed that one so much. Actually, I liked it so much. It ended up becoming. Maybe if I can grab it right here. It ended up becoming the. If I can pull it out here. It it ends up becoming the cover for the main cover for my book. And if you can see it right here, this is the main cover for my first book, Hunter's Moon. And that's literally the image that he did. He just, he redesigned it, put some teeth marks around it because obviously he's battling a large supernatural creature in this. So that's kind of what we did. And
Coolness.
yeah, so he did the covers for that first campaign, and we had an original colors because I don't color. Right? That's not my thing. I don't know anything. I knew the colors had to be digital because traditional colors. I don't think, although that's what I'm used to. I don't think it would translate anymore to what I'm trying to do here because there's nothing beats digital color, right? They just pop.
Right. Yes.
So I found a colorist. He ended up leaving the project, so he left us high and dry because he just he wasn't performing the way he should. So we kind of mutually split. So I had to find another colorist. So that took a while. We found a great colorist, and so went to Kickstarter the first book. It was immensely popular. I did not think anyone would care about my character as much as I cared. I didn't refund it in like 90 minutes.
Wow.
It was crazy
Congrats,
because
man.
I spent a lot of time on Instagram building a following for 2 years
Mhm.
before I ever did this
Right.
because I was very open about my character. I would draw about him. I would talk about him on lives and stuff like that, Instagram lives. So yeah, we did great, and I thought that that was it, and people were asking for more to the point where we went to Indiegogo as a second chance run because for a second printing because people were demanding it.
Yeah.
And, it was crazy. I didn't think anybody would really and but they did, and,
That's cool.
so they say, "When's the next book?" I said, "Wow, I guess I'm making comics now." So here we are, and so I settled on a really solid team of guys that are really reliable, and we kinda just, that's what we do now.
That's how these things can can go. It's
Yeah,
it's
definitely organic.
but you have to move things forward. You can have ideas plenty, but you have to
Right.
do something with them, and things can
Yes,
happen.
sir.
It's yeah.
Absolutely.
Old School Comic says our group Savage Sandbox is a lot like Image without the
Oh,
ego.
yeah. I'm part of a conglomerate, a group of creators called the Savage Sandbox. It's me and 6 other creators.
Right.
And we are kind of Jerry's one of them. Old School Comics is one of them. We were originally we were distributing our own comics. We were doing
Okay.
that, and then we're kind of edging into the publishing area now, publishing under the Savage Sandbox for a couple of our series. So yeah, it's a really cool group that kind of grew organically. So yeah,
Right. So
yeah.
so
I
your
always say
label.
we're like. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No. No. Your label is kind of like Top Cow under
Yeah,
Image.
it's
Right.
right. That's exactly what we're doing. Your individual because I always say we're like Image Comics, but not
Hmm.
as influential or as cool. And no infighting. We don't infight either.
Right.
So there's none of that. So we don't have the
Good.
early Image. Yeah, so we have our individual IPs and we rely yeah, I know. It's crazy. We don't worry, I've run into artists that were absolutely not real. I feel your pain. Uh
Yeah.
and like I said, my original colorist was like that. But yeah, so we kind of that's what we do, and so we got a lot of core group of individuals. And one thing we do is when one of us we spread out our Kickstarters, so one or crowdfunding, and when one of us is up crowdfunding, the other ones will push and share, and
Right.
so it gets a lot more eyes or reaches a lot further than just our individual fan base, which is super helpful as well.
Okay. Great. That's a great idea. So how do you have things planned with publishing? So you publish all these books from all these labels.
Well, we all the thing is with the Savage Sandbox is that we are your Kickstarters are your own. You can, if you're your individual series,
Hmm.
but we're moving into publishing of we're taking all of these individual series that we have
Right.
and we're turning them into anthology books.
Oh.
So one book will be action, one book will because we have in the Savage Sandbox, we cover a lot of genres. We have manga, We have suspense, which is like my series. We have action. We have sci-fi. We have supernatural thrillers. So yeah, we're very much covered the bases. So we're able to make these anthologies with each comics and kind of like make anthology books. That's what we're yeah, that's the plans. That's what we're doing right now. We're only in the design and prototype stage right now of that. We're getting all of our ducks in a row before we make that big push. But right now we were distributing. We're in a lot of comic shops and stuff here in the States.
Oh, that's awesome. That's one of the
Thank you.
most difficult things to get your books
Tell me about it.
in
Tell me about
stores.
it.
Right. Chris Fisk says, "Look at that, a supportive network of creators. I wish we had more of that."
I will tell you, we were very lucky to find individuals. I mean, I'm not going to say we didn't have members that we had to remove. We did. I mean, unfortunately, sometimes egos are a part of this, or not understanding the concept of team, because we are very team oriented. Everyone has a job in the Savage Sandbox. I'm the editor in chief. We have another guy that's business manager. We have another guy that is a social media. We have 3 social media guys.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, we everyone has a you don't just ride for free. Everyone has a
Mhm.
job,
Of
and
course.
and you're responsible for that job, and people will keep you on task for that job.
Right.
That's important. So
So can other people join your network, other creators, or do you
Right now we
limit?
had to trim some out because there's
Oh,
some igloos in there. But yes,
oh,
we
right.
are. We are. It's funny that you said that. We were talking about eventually looking for. We are always on the lookout. We have certain criteria that we have because we had to become a real business. So we became a real business here in the States, and so we have criteria that we're looking at. We are going to look at submissions at some point. But we want to make sure that we have everything in line before one of the tenets of the Savage Sandbox that we have is we grow slow. We don't wanna
Mhm.
get bigger
Yeah,
too
of course.
fast. So organic growth is our key here,
Mhm.
and we've been try to keep to that. So, but yeah, we're definitely interested in it.
Excellent. Chris
Thank you.
says, "If I had a wrench, I'd post the link here." I got you, Chris.
Yeah,
And you're
you
often
could just put savagesandbox.com. You could also the link will go to that as well.
Chris has a wrench now. You're often here, Chris. So and
Yeah,
I
you
need
can
moderators.
just
So you're
yeah,
let's just do this. Thanks
yeah.
so much. Uh,
That's awesome. You
yeah,
gave him
man.
a wrench. That's good. Yeah.
It's uh, when I first started out, it was you run into many people who will promise you many things about. I can make this happen for you. I can
Yeah.
publish your book. I can do this. I can do this. And you make alliances, and it seldom pans out. It's
Right.
really difficult to make things actually happen, to coordinate everything. So yeah,
Yeah,
so great.
and we have had those issues too. Like I said, we've
Right.
had to remove a
Hmm.
couple individuals because of that, and because we try to keep each other honest, and that's what we try to do. And if we don't ask a lot, but what we do ask, please, that we can only grow together. Our mantra is we're stronger together,
Right.
and that is each person has a job, and each person to do that job to help us all move forward.
Right.
We so that's how we apply our mechanics to that.
That is great. That is great.
Thank you.
Chris posted a link to check out Jason
Yep.
and his team website,
That's
Homebrewed
the
Comics. Yeah,
yeah,
cool.
that's my buddy Chris. He's our business manager. He hosts it on his site. It's or savagesandbox.com also leaves you right there. That's right. Good job, Chris.
Yeah, I think some of these links are also in the description of the video. Thank you, Chris. Guys, check it
Yes,
out.
definitely. Thank you.
Okay, let's take a look at your campaign.
Oh, yes, please.
Usually around now, I show people the trailer. That's when I do Indiegogo campaigns, because then I can
Okay.
download the trailers. But I can't do that with Kickstarter, so we have to do
Oh,
it
that's a bummer. Yeah, sorry about that.
directly from your page. But it's not a problem. I just have to make sure that I have the sound on. Tab audio, yes. All right.
There's a lot of breathing in that trailer.
There we go. Awesome. So the Convictor Unhinged, and the Convictor was a play on the Punisher, right?
No, actually, that the Convictor character, yes. The
Okay.
Convictor name, people think it has something to do with law enforcement, and it doesn't. It has to do with somebody that is completely committed to a task. And
Right.
yeah, but yes,
Exactly.
very originally he was very much a vigilante type, but now he's a lot more
Welcome, Alec.
about.
Hello, hello, Alec. We are taking a look at the Convictor Unhinged. Um, okay, you have you reached your goal, so
Yep.
that's great.
Yep.
You have 26 days to go. That's great. You're doing great. So this is a 30-day campaign, or
Yes. Yeah, I think it ended up being 31 because I had a particular date I wanted to end on because of my work schedule. I wanted to make sure I was
right?
available.
So
So I
you
think it ended
did
up being
this. You
31.
did this in 4 days. That's
Yeah,
excellent.
I think we funded in I think it was 10 hours. We funded. So,
Fantastic.
yeah, it was pretty crazy. My fan base is they're awesome. So they really enjoy the characters. So.
Oh, Alec asks, are you guys going to be here at Heroes Dutch Comic Con? Hmm. Well, you're from the States, right? So,
I'm from the States, so I can promise you I won't be there. I would love to be there. I
yeah,
mean, for sure. I would absolutely love to go to
yeah.
any place
And
you know,
I won't
sure.
be there also. I have too much going on right now. I can't do a convention in between. So
Yeah, I hear you.
hopefully next year. All right, let's take a look at your trailer.
Sure. It was very plain and to the point because I wanted to showcase my villain. And
Right.
so yeah, so he if he, I didn't come through at least on mine. The audio is him breathing heavily. Yeah, and so
Oh,
uh,
there was no audio. Oh,
yeah, the audio is usually he's breathing because he's got this big round helmet on.
I'm
So,
sorry,
but
guys. I thought I had it on, but I don't know. I'm sorry.
don't worry. So,
Uh,
I could breathe for you if you want. It was like so that helped.
yeah. You did the sound yourself. Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Uh, okay, so the Convictor is the main title. Unhinged, is that the title
Yes,
of this particular story?
I treat my books like a lot like James Bond films. Like they'll have individual titles. I don't really number them, even though they are in canonical order. I usually just have them want to have it's like the Convictor and then the title. So that's usually like he's here now and this is the name of the book. It's easier for me because I really enjoyed James Bond films and I loved how they even though they were kind of in a canonical order, they were just had their own individual,
Right,
encompassing, title.
right. Okay. But this series that you're writing,
It's called
do
The
you need?
Convictor. Yeah.
Yeah. But do you need it? Do you need to read it from 1 to 13, or can you go?
No, no,
It,
no, no, they're definitely maybe later on they'll start to get because it's all leading to something.
Mhm.
My last book is kind of like my last couple books are kinda like my version of Endgame. So they because the Convictor series is a slow burn. In the sense that you won't get his full origin from just opening the first book because I don't like that as a reader. I like
Mm,
being able to learn bits and pieces from book to book about a character. So
right,
I kind of wrote this for somebody that like me. So each book gives you puzzle pieces to who this individual is and what he can do. And I kind of use like a breadcrumb approach like that. And so yeah, so but yes, each book is self-encompassed that you have a complete story in one book that has open ending that could lead you to another. They're all
okay.
connected, but they're also contained.
Sure. Welcome, Sloane. Sloney, welcome,
Hey,
sir.
what's up, Jack? Another
I'd
Savage
recommend
Sandbox
reading
member.
all of them. These books are badass.
Thanks.
Procedural Revelation rocks. So
Thank
the
you.
main, the
That's
main
how
character,
I love books.
yeah. So the main character is basically a mystery to the reader, right?
A little bit. Like you'll get yeah, I mean if you open the first book, you will visually you'll see that okay, you know he's a vigilante, you know you get that from the first book. And this book you'll get a little bit more like there's little things that I add from book to book. And cuz I'm not going to I have to be honest, as a creator, I want you to go back and get my other books.
Sure.
So I, you know what I mean? But if you just open this book right now, you will see that he's a vigilante and that he is exceptionally formidable
Hmm.
and but he he's also he's also human. He's not super powered. So
Right.
he has something I gave my character a long time ago. He doesn't have any superhuman powers, but he has a superhuman personality trait.
Oh,
I gave him the power of having what I call indomitable will. His
right.
will is unbreakable.
Yes.
I can't say from where that source comes yet, but eventually it'll later on in the books it's revealed. But he was born with this gift. It makes him exception. Made him a great soldier. It made him a perfect a ninja type warrior, and then it made him this perfect avatar for this ancient god that he's just his body will break before his will does. It's like I gave it to him as a sense to differentiate him from different characters out there because it's not like he's super strong. It's not like he can run fast. It's nothing like that. His will is just unbreakable. It
Right.
doesn't, even if he wanted to give up, he can't as an individual. And what that means is it's his greatest strength and his biggest weakness as well. He will literally take a beating until he can't anymore his body will fail him because that's the kind of character he is. So it's like a dual purpose power. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Wow. Welcome, Dr.
Uh,
Valencia
That's my
Designs.
buddy Dennis. That's the guy I was telling you did my covers, the young
Oh,
buck
great.
that I plucked out of the Etherverse to do the covers on my first book. Yeah, that's Dennis.
Wow, great work, Dennis. Looked awesome. So, I'm just curious from a writing standpoint, right?
Yes, sir.
How do you make sure if you have a character and you slowly reveal more of the background, how do you make sure that the reader can connect to him? If you don't really know much about the background.
Right. Well, I started that originally by doing a lot of talking about him before I
Right.
ever launched the book. That's how I got that original initial fan base by being very open about him as an individual, very open about his his training, his the technology that his suit has, and he has some technology in his suit. So I was very open about that, and then I by going into this book, like you would see that I think be able to connect to the character, you will see that he is just a man. He's just a
Mhm.
man who doesn't know a whole lot about his past. He has been kind of subverted by this ancient god who is using him as a proxy. And so he's very relatable in a sense that he does things and he questions these things later because he's like, did I do this? Why did I do this? How come I was because in the previous book he was excessively brutal to gang members. Like he's a he to be fair, he is an avatar of retribution. He is called his god calls him the sword of vengeful fate, meaning that she wants what people were considered excessively wicked, she wants them purged from the earth
Right.
because she anticipates wanting to come back to the earth because she was
Right.
originally chased off the planet. So she uses him to purge these individuals, and that's now to be fair, I'm not talking about purse snatchers. I'm not talking about people stealing cars. They have to be reaching a certain point, cross a certain line to warrant purging from him. You know what I mean? Because this god is sees things in a very black and white, Old Testament kind of view of the world. She
Mm.
doesn't understand the world is not that way anymore. So,
Right.
he's made some mistakes in his past. He gets entrapped into becoming this proxy for this god. And so he's very much relatable in the sense that he's a man that is being used. And he's picking the pieces up, starting to realize why is he being used. But I mean, usually what grabs people with the book is the way the character looks. So there's
Mhm.
that. He's got
Yeah.
a very tragic backstory. His life is one of tragedy from start to finish. So yeah, I definitely think he's relatable for a lot of folks because he looks cool. I mean, there's that. I mean,
Yes.
if I say so myself. And he's a ninja. Who doesn't like ninja warriors, right? And
Exactly.
but yeah, he and you question why he does these things. So I think that's where the initial hook is.
Right. It
Yes,
reminded
that
me
is
as
that is
it reminded me
oh the
of Predator also.
yep.
This
That
effect.
is his AEC that I call it's called active environmental camouflage. It's a
Mhm.
refracting system that's built
Right.
into his suit. His suit's a government prototype that he had. And so yeah, that's very much Predator is a good catch. What you see the green on my character, anytime you see green, those are mini nanotechnology that cover
Okay.
every inch of his suit. Now the green is the nanotechnology at work.
Right.
So what you see here is we always pictured to him when he's going to disappear or uh, reappear. It's like taking a piece of paper and burning it. That's how we wanted it to look. As it burns, it glows in
Yes.
embers, and that's how we picture this. And that's kind of what we do with him with his suit when he's activating it.
Great, man. You also said something that so you have his story, but you
Yes.
also said something about the goddess that's
Yes. She's a slow burn too. Like there's
yeah,
you will
because she
see
has
it.
this
You will
entire backstory. She lived
right.
on Earth, was chased
Right.
off. That's
Yes.
that's interesting.
That's like that all gets revealed later on my series. Like I
Right.
said, it's a slow burn, but it's a
Yes.
steady climb. And
Cool.
you will see she speaks to him. I can tell you this in these books. She speaks to him in captioned dialogue, but it's
Oh,
subconscious. He doesn't hear her. All right, so she sits in the back of his head. It's an attachment that he's not aware of, but she
right.
does drive a lot of his movements, especially in my last book. She
Okay.
urged him to be excessively violent, and he's already a formidable individual, being a soldier and all this kind of stuff. But he was excessively violent to gang members, and he comes out of that asking questions like why. There was a person that questioned why he was so brutal, and it put a question in his head. He's wondering if someone's at else's at the helm here as
Right.
opposed to him.
Okay. Cool. That's interesting. I like that.
Thank you.
Cool.
I try.
Um. All right. Here you have some
That was
sequential
the
work.
debut of my villain, Happy Boy. He's
Happy
a
boy. Okay.
happy boy. He's a murderous, unstable individual, unhinged, if you will.
Hmm.
He dresses in this round smiley face helmet and he wears primary colors. And I actually created him as a the arch nemesis to the Convictor in like 1989. I was in art class and my teacher was asking us to draw a round smiley face, to have a nice day smiley face as a real life drawing. She had a vase, and of course I didn't draw it. I started drawing it as something else, and then next thing I know, I put it on a guy's hand. I put
Right.
it on a guy's head. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
this would be a great villain because he doesn't look like a villain. He looks like a good guy,
Hmm.
or like somebody that you wouldn't really take serious. And I think that's the best part about him because he's insanely deadly, and
Yeah.
he's off his rocker. So
A
I created him way
psychopath.
back then. The primary colors, it's all by design, and this was his debut in my last book in the epilogue.
Okay. I can already see that this book is not all ages.
No, my first book, Hunter's Moon, was geared towards the kids because I only thought it was one book. But my Convictor series has always been. He does say "Have a nice day, Chris." That's right. He does say that. I actually have it. Look, I have the original artwork I created for him. It's right here. Right when I was. It says "Have a nice day." It's even signed 1989 at the bottom or over there. But yeah,
Yeah.
this is the one I drew in art class. This is like way back when. Uh, So good catch. Right on, Chris. But yeah, only he has a nice day. That's right. So yeah, my original book was kind of for all ages. I mean, there was still violence and stuff in it, but it was no blood and no cursing and stuff like that. The reason my Convictor series has always been in the 90s, it became what I like to call ultra violence because I was very much influenced by, if we've ever read the Faust comics.
Yeah.
Is anybody familiar with Faust?
Yeah.
I
Really,
came across
really
Faust.
underground work. Yeah.
I came across Faust,
Uh-huh.
and that changed my life.
Right.
And that
Comics
book
can
was
be
very.
like this. Oh man.
It was so influential to me. For now, I'm not big on nudity and stuff. Like you won't see a lot of that out of my comics. I don't steer towards that, but I do say, you know what? They're going to talk like people would really talk. They're going to, violence looks a certain way. You can't have a character who's a vigilante and the violence. I need to sell the violence, and
Yes.
because he isn't, so especially my last book, I needed the goddess was going to tell him to be so violent. There's no way I could have not done it as violent as I did. So yes, these are definitely mature readers books now, and this is how the series was always designed to be.
Old School Comics has to go.
See you later, Jerry. Have a good one, pal. Thanks for stopping in.
Thank you for dropping by, man. Thanks so much. Great. Yeah, I have the same thing with my comic. With the main character is a assassin. He can't really tell the story
you
wants.
You could do. No,
he wants to tell if you
villain.
tone things down. Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
I mean, this is.
Mike says, I've seen the direct-to-video Faust movie before.
Yeah, that's not the same. I'm telling you, the Faust series are primo. They're fantastic.
Yeah, they're brutal.
And they are very brutal. And John Jaspers is a killer among killers. So,
is this what's the format of this comic? Is it regular United?
It's American size. Yeah, American size.
Right.
Yeah, US size. So I think that's like 6x9.
Yes.
And obviously digital. We have a PDF version as well.
Yes, you have a PDF for only $3.
Yeah.
I noticed. Guys, a PDF for only $3. If you want to support Jason, you want to support this project for just $3, you get the PDF.
And for five more dollars, you get all the books.
For $5 more, you get all the books. Wow.
I understand international shipping is crazy right now. It is out of control. I looked at the pricing and I felt there's not anything I can do about it because I have a lot of international backers. I have a lot from Australia, a lot from France, and a lot from the UK. And it just doubled. It became insane. And to be honest, and so I said I want to make sure my digital stuff is priced right because I want somebody if they don't want to pay the excessive shipping, please just get the digital. That's nothing wrong with that. Digital comics are great.
Jonas, hello, Jonas Olsen. Great. Okay, this is another. So you do the line work digitally nowadays, right?
Well, yeah. Now this book was traditional. This book was traditional. This was traditional art. The colors were digital,
right?
And obviously the lettering was digital,
right? So the colorist is someone else. You don't do the colors, right?
Yeah, no. I have my buddy Steve Kennedy, who this was colored by my previous colorist Cristiano Cruz. But I have a new colorist now who came on board with me, and his name is Stephen Kennedy, and that's his colors right here on this. He colored our epilogue, so he's able to match the tone of our book, and he did a fantastic job. So that was Stephen Kennedy right there.
Right.
And Happy Boy is he's an interesting character. He says some really demented things because that's the type of character he is. So.
that's the contrast, with the smiley face.
Right, that was intentional.
Right. Yes. Alex says I've been reading a lot of comic books on my Kindle lately, so I don't pay shipping.
Hey, Alec, you're absolutely right. It's the way to go right now, especially with shipping.
Rated PG stories about killers is like
yes, Chris gets it. You're right on, Chris. Chris gets it. You can't do it. It's impossible. I couldn't have done this scene.
I don't know the brand, but I can imagine what you mean.
O'Doul's is non-alcoholic beer, so you don't need to
Yes.
know it.
Right. Yes. Right. These colors are pretty nice here.
Yeah, that was also done by my friend Steve Kennedy. Yep, or my
Right.
colorist. That's him. He actually drew it himself too. Actually,
Is
he does a
this
lot
one
of
of
our
the
promotional
covers?
work. No, that is actually one of our mini posters that are included in the campaigns.
I have mini
There's
posters,
two,
like a
yeah,
print.
like a print. Yep, yes, sir.
Right. All
So
right.
that is one half of. There's another matching one of the Convictor that matches with this. If you can see the reflection in his helmet, the next poster will have that will be the same picture of the Convictor, but the reflection of that. So
Right. Okay.
see, there it
So
is, and then Happy
this
Boy
one.
is in
Yeah.
his sword. Yep, that's it.
Cool. A little scorpion vibe going on here, huh?
A little bit. I get that a lot because of the
Little bit,
yellow.
yeah.
Now, in my series, the yellow has a very sentimental meaning to him.
Yeah.
Going back to his time as it was a symbol. Yellow in Japanese culture is a symbol of bravery, fidelity, and conviction to
Okay.
cause. So
Right.
So I'm very big on double meanings. So
That's the opposite of the yellow that we describe, like cowardice, right?
yes, right,
Yeah.
right.
Right.
Yep. So it's more like it's like a mustard yellow. That's what we go for, yeah.
Mhm. Right.
But definitely, I definitely get the Scorpion. I get that a lot, which is I take as a compliment. He's my favorite Mortal Kombat character anyway. So that's our main cover, our broken cover. It's
Oh, this
called.
is a cover,
Yeah.
right? The
That's
main
the main
cover.
cover. Yes,
All
yes,
right.
sir. And that is our foil cover. We're having foils made. That's one of
Okay.
our foil covers. That'll pop
Right.
really great as a foil with the
Mhm.
greens. And that's also a foil cover. That is our Murder Machine cover.
So is this why you kept it rather simple? Because it's foil, so easier to
Yes,
do.
because I wanted the pop, and I was also a very big fan of back in the Marvel in the 80s when they would just have the head on the cover. I
Mhm.
always thought that was great.
Right.
Now, but yeah, I knew these ones were gonna be they were gonna be thank you very much. These are actually drawn by me and colored by me. I can do some coloring.
Right.
But yeah, so we as foils, I wanted to put a gradient background in it and stick with reds and greens because I know how they pop on a foil. They look beautiful on a foil cover. And so that's what we went with. Yeah.
Well, Chris loves foil covers, so that's good.
I listen, it's a 90s inspired character, right? I have a
Yeah.
very 90s look. So my previous campaign I did holographic covers. So of course this campaign I'm doing foil covers. I got to keep it 90s.
Right. Yes.
I think I'll do a chromium next time. We'll see. Maybe a metal cover.
Mike loves Mortal Kombat, so it's a
Same.
compliment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very big fan of the previous Mortal Kombat iterations as well.
All right.
And
You have some.
we have a action figure that was made in our top tier. I think we only
Wow.
have one left. Yeah, we had a retro style action figure made from somebody that we're working with, and I love the old Star Wars Kenner 3.75-inch US size
Oh,
action
it's that
figures. So
size,
I
right?
saw, yeah. So we went and had them. We had them commissioned, and yeah, they're really cool. I saw one of the prototypes the other day. It looks amazing.
You can
And
have him
and
face off with Darth Vader.
that's right, same size. Yep, and that's our digital catch up.
Right. Digital catch-up. Right. For just $5, guys. And for 25 you get the physical catch-up.
Yep, plus PDF. Yeah,
Right. Great. Great.
that's
First
our
day
that was our
bundle.
first day bundle. That's obviously over, but that was a 24-hour bundle.
Right. Okay. You can't get that no more. The Murder Machine bundle.
Yeah. That's
Uh,
what we call him. I've always called him the murder machine because he is very much he doesn't kill because he's not a serial killer. He doesn't have a reason. He kills because it's there. That's the only reason why he does it. Like, he could and he's very nondescript. Like certain serial killers maybe use a knife or other ones use this. He doesn't it's whatever he feels like in the moment. And he is he's very unpredictable, which makes him the pun intended perfect foil for my character. He was very
yes.
methodical, so it's going to be an interesting, a very very big fight, good action book. So
Good. Cool. So We can look
That's
forward to that. Now we
Convictor
have the
Brink.
Ninja Vigilante bundle.
Yeah, that's why I've always called the Convictor that. That was his. I always said, well, he's a vigilante and a ninja. He's always been a ninja vigilante. I've always called. So I made a bundle named after. I even put it on a shirt.
Right.
Thanks, Jack.
The Murder Machine Extreme bundle. Extreme.
Yeah, that gets coffee mugs and stuff like that.
Oh, coffee mugs even.
Yeah.
Right.
But,
Yeah. Then the coffee mugs with the other bundle.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's him. And then we have because they're both avatars. Happy Boy himself is an avatar for a god as well.
Oh,
And
all right.
so his god has promised him very special gifts if he would come and defeat his god, and Convictor's goddess have a very old primordial beef going on for thousands and thousands of years. So Happy Boy has been dispatched by his god. I don't want to say which god it is yet because that comes out in this book, but he's dispatched by his god to come and kill the Convictor and prove that this god is better than his god, I guess, basically. They're siblings, I'll tell you that anyway. So the gods are siblings.
Okay, great. More backstory. Awesome.
And that was our top bundle.
But you have one left, you said, right?
One left. Yeah, there was our limited to 10.
Right.
Because we had a limited run. They're going to be numbered on the foot.
Okay, yeah. All right. So grab this,
and
guys.
they come unfinished because everybody, a lot of people like the gray to finish it themselves, but also a lot of folks can paint it. A lot of people like to do their own painting. So I was like, you know what, let's do it unfinished, and that way you can add your own flair to it.
Right. And some add-ons.
Yeah, it's all right. Yep.
T-shirt. Right. You can check it all out, guys. The link is pinned in the chat. It's also in the description of the video. Please check it out. We started with 54 backers.
Yep. Yeah, we're just $13 away from our next stretch goal. Our next stretch goal at 2,500 US will be trading cards for these individuals. We did trading cards at our last Kickstarter, and they were immensely popular. And so now we have a new villain to put in a trading card. We have a new, we have a lot of new, the villain has a god. It's gonna be this. There's gonna be so much new stuff coming out for these trading cards, and I love trading cards because in the trading cards, I will tell you from my previous campaign, those trading cards also build upon the backstory and the world of this character. So there's a lot of information in my trading cards that help you glean a better understanding for what we're doing here. So there's also that.
Excellent.
Yeah, we're excited to do trading cards.
Seems like you got a rich world going on here.
I have had about 40 years to create it. Yeah, I have. Yeah, it's pretty. It's definitely has some depth. Yeah.
Yes, and Chris also loves the trading cards.
Me too, Chris. Me too.
Chris, thank you so much for sharing all the links.
Yes, definitely, Chris. Thank you.
Much appreciated. All right. Okay. Jason, thank you. Thank you for showing us your campaign.
No, thanks for having me. Like, really, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate just any chance that somebody allows me the chance to talk incessantly about my project.
Sure, you're welcome, sir. Guys, check it out. Share it with people. Talk about this campaign. Let's help get this made. And while you're at it, while you're on Kickstarter, also visit American Bliss. American Bliss.
Yeah, I'm going to check that out because listen, I'm as an American, you already got me with the red, white, and blue.
Woohoo!
So, yes. Yeah, I'm already. When you had your promo running, I was very intrigued.
Good.
It pulls on those strings. So
yeah. A lot of people missed it because it was on Indiegogo. Yeah. Now it's here, so I hope to tap into this other audience. You never know, right?
Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go to it as soon as I get off of here because it looks amazing.
We have a lot of cool stuff. More stuff is in the works.
That's my favorite guy. The villain looks cool. I saw the villain and I was like, that is what I'm talking about.
Thank you so much, man.
No, of course.
Guys, the link to this is also in the description. Check it out. All right, stop sharing. This was the show for today. Jason, thank you for being my guest, for showing
No, you're
us
welcome. Thank
your
you for having
campaign.
me. Thank you.
And special thanks to the chat for everyone who showed up and who watched
for
us.
sure. You guys are awesome. Nice meeting all of
Yes.
you.
Yes, without you, there's no point. So yeah, thank you so
Right.
much, guys. So I won't be back. I don't think I'll be back next Sunday because I have a special celebration day. I don't think so, but I will be back the week after. So I hope to see you guys then. Thank you all for showing up, and see you guys next time. Bye.